1657. How you doing? I used the app. It was 1657. Hey, Virgo. What's up, CDP? What's up, Catherine? What's up, Tanya? What's up, Darcy? What's up, Scorpio? I'm on today because I'm determining what I am going to do concerning the beef sector. You know, it's fun, but some of the storylines, some of the stuff is like, okay, I can do some other stuff. I'm just really mulling it over. I'm not saying that I'm leaving. Yes, not saying that I'm leaving, but well, I don't like looking at these long, exhaustive panels, and it's really interesting. No, I just had two coffees with five Splenda, four creams, and that came. It should have come through a mobile app. Mhm. Yeah, it was two coffees. Mhm. Yeah, the political stuff is really taking heat right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. Especially, I don't know if you all know about Texas, but it just flipped a seat. A Democrat just flipped a seat that went for Trump plus 17. The Democrat won, but yeah, it gets. Let me tell you Let me tell you what I'm tired of. I'm getting my coffees, you all. So bear with me as I get my coffees. Um, I've been in the sector since the day. Been through a lot of stuff with the sectors. People tried to ruin me. It is what it is. Thank God for options, and those things didn't happen. So you go through a whole lot. You really do. But what really gets me is, all right. Thank you so much. You have a great day. Thank you. Now you treat people with kindness. They had my order a little messed up, but yeah, it's just two coffees, and so I got my coffee. So let me go through this, you all. I've been through all in the beef sector, but it's never been to the point where it totally destroyed me. There's some people who tried to do it, and it's unfortunate because it speaks more about them than me. And my thing is, when you have your stuff together, people can't take you down, you know. And that's why I say it's very important to have your education. It's very important to have experience because when stuff like that happens, it won't hold you down. So, but um, at the end of the day, you get tired, and I can argue with people all day. We can look for stuff like this Brianna thing. I look back at it and I'm like, it's unfortunate. There are lessons to be learned, But at the end of the day, she's not open because of the atmosphere in the sector. So, it's pretty contentious all the way around, and you see stuff like this and people get off pretty much on other people's downfalls. And it's just really interesting. And I know we just talked about it. But then you gotta look at people's channels, and that's gonna be my downfall. I'm just telling you right now. I'm not that interested in what people got going on, unless it's really good. But I'm not gonna spend time sitting there, waiting for something to say, "Oh, that's good," and you just get really tired of it. And if you do have a life outside of the beach sector, outside of YouTube, you're focusing in on that, and so you really don't have the time. And so it's like you wonder, well, what's next? So I am getting ready to do a next act, thinking about it now, but you just really get tired of the foolishness. And yeah, so and a lot of the OGs are gone, not because they can't handle what's going on, it's because it's just not, it's no substance. So it's interesting. But I'm not, like I said, I'm thinking about it. I'm mulling it over. And we're going to do something different at some point in time because it is what it is. But I do have a Labor Day um, event going on. I do have that train ride. And, yeah. But what do you all think? What do you all think? What do you all think? Because I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm not going to spend all my time looking at these people. It's just like, and they want you to look at them. That's the whole thing. They want the attention. And I meant what I said. When I tell you I don't watch you, I don't. And certain people I don't watch. Couldn't tell you, and it's really funny because y'all say, "Oh, they said this about you, they said this about you," and I know nothing about it because I really don't watch it. Steal, kill, and destroy. And they won't. A lot of these people feel bad about themselves, and they want you to feel bad about you because they feel bad about themselves, the mistakes they've made. And I'm sorry, I'm just not that type of dude. I am not a narcissist by any means. Any means. I just don't let people who didn't create me, I don't let people who don't know my blueprint speak over my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I have mentors and people who will say, "Hey, what's going on?" You got to have people like that in your life. You got to have some people who are securing themselves to say, that may not be a good move, or maybe you need to consider that. Everybody needs people in their lives, but from YouTube, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, y'all, I'm going to read y'all comments as soon as I get out this damn sun. Hold on, let me see what y'all say. You, yeah, and like I said, I'm not gone, Zebra, but you start thinking about stuff. It's like, this is stupid, and I could be talking about the things that are going on and jump into another sector and stuff. The money is good, though. Now, that's the thing. The money is good. The money is good. The money is extremely good. The money is extremely good. Okay, Boomkey, I hear you. Let me see what else anybody else is saying. Good morning, good morning. The money is good, but you just get tired of it. And it really doesn't matter. I was actually watching Tom. Let me tell you another thing, too, that you just, so I guess I had banned Castro over here for about 2 months. because he thought it was funny to come and shimmy and get naked or try to get naked on my platform. And so I guess Tommy heard about it, and I didn't know why Tommy was upset. But Tommy is fighting with Castro, and he upset with me, and you like him better than me. I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? I said, what are you talking about? And then once he figured that out, and yeah, nobody's here to hurt you. And when I tell you, you the one who got the charges, I meant that. And you know I meant that. I don't want to see you go to jail either. But if you don't listen, you're going to go back. You're going to go to jail. And it's not being me. Now, I didn't watch the lip sync competition. Baby, I wasn't even interested again. That's another thing. I was with my partner the whole time. We are enjoying each other's company and doing things. And so, no, and I wasn't even interested in it. I wasn't interested in it one bit. I wasn't even interested. So, not to say that it was good or bad, but I just wasn't interested in it. Yeah. What's up, Viv? Now, I am looking for the train. I am looking forward to that train ride. And I'm not lying. I don't care if it's me or Vivian. Whosoever will let them come. I'm looking forward to that. I am. I'm looking forward to the Labor Day because again, Vivian and I have done these trips. We've done the cruise, and it's fun. I like seeing people make friends, and some of the people who've been on our cruise now are friends, and they really, really stay in contact. And it was like, it was great. It was great. So I have no doubt that the train ride is going to be fun. If just me and Vivian go, it'll be fine. Whoever comes, I'm just not expecting anything major. But it's trips and things like this that I enjoy, and it's okay to have a little shade, a little light. But I really did think about the Brianna situation, and I'm like, that's a sad situation. Here you are thinking that you are establishing a relationship. The person is just leading you on. They really, really don't like you like that. But yeah, and I understand what Remix is trying to say, but I don't think that Remix would have ever wanted to be involved. I just think that it was a ploy. I think it was a plot. And again, I'm looking at some things he's done and how he felt. And then my thing is, you need some counseling because you done gone through some trauma where you want to put a mirror up to her face. And you kept saying that, and I'm like, okay, it's just a lot of hurting people. It is. A lot of hurting people. And at the end of the day, it's sad. So Brianna may have some relationship issues. Let's just say she may have some relationship issues, right? Let's just go with that. Okay. But in the midst of that, she's getting her education. In the midst of that, Brianna has always worked. In the midst of that, Brianna don't have a record. She's never been to jail. And I will say this, and I'm not a Brianna fan. I really am not a Brianna fan. She's not a fan of mine either, probably. But I'm going to say this. All of that foolishness, and this may be embarrassing for a little bit, but this will never stop Brianna from getting a job. this will never stop Brianna from going on with her life and doing some bigger and better things. Because in actuality and in reality, Brianna has choices. And even though Brianna is a big girl now, she may not be a big girl always. But then I look at a brother like Remix and I look at them charges. You can't get no security clearance nowhere. You will have a hard time getting a career unless you have your own business. So you have limited opportunities. And I look at that kind of stuff. But in actuality, ain't nothing wrong with Brianna. If she did talk about Pizarro, that ain't gonna stop her from getting a job. It doesn't affect her real life. But Remix, some of the shit you've done has really affected your life. So you got to look at that kind of stuff because you're trying to put Brianna down, but you've already done things to debase yourself. And everybody deserves a second chance, but man, you have a long rap sheet. And then you don't want to be judged by the rap sheet, but you want everybody to judge Brianna by the little stunt that you pulled. And don't get me wrong, for the beef sector, it is gold, especially if you don't like Brianna. My thing is, I think women should be very careful with who they interact with. And I've been saying it, especially on the beef sector. I have been screaming it from the rafters. And you know, if you didn't like people, you wouldn't tell people what you tell them. People who really don't like you, they ain't gonna tell you, watch out, that stove is hot. They want you to just burn yourself. So, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm proud of Brianna because she's getting her education, and that ain't shade. That's real. I am proud of Brianna because she's losing weight. You know, I know it's easy for folk to go for the fat jokes and stuff, and I get it because that's what we do. But I'm proud of Brianna for even getting the mindset to lose the weight. I am. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm happy that she's getting her degree. Anytime you get some education, anytime you are investing in yourself, you are never going to hear me be jealous about that. You will never hear me, oh, she thinks she's something now because she got some education. No, you will never. With all of this stuff going on, you better have a little degree or two up in your corner. So I'm very proud of her for that. And she don't need me to be proud for her. I get it, but I don't care. I think that is a good thing. I think she's investing in herself. So that's why I come with that. And so it's the things that you think about. Let me see what y'all said now. I'm parked. Well, it does. It does. It does. You all. It says a lot. And this is why I keep on telling people there are no friends on YouTube. That's why I keep on telling people that I separate my personal life from my real one because you have to. That's why if my boo has gone back to his wife, y'all would never know about it because it's really none of your business. I come up here to entertain. But what is the real reason? And he exposed Bree. He exposed Bree. We knew some of this stuff already, but I just think it's real interesting. Okay. let me say this, you all. There are some awesome things going on in my life, but I cannot share them on the beef sector, YouTube sector, because we know how these people are. There's a lot of things going on in the world that we can talk about, and I just think I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't have any desire to look at anybody's um, live streams, especially if they're not funny. I'm a comedian. I love comedy. I love comedy. This stuff that I'm seeing, it's a lot of drama, but you know, all I'm seeing is people using people, gaslighting them, saying that we're in a relationship, but just really using them for the content. And that's what I see. And I can understand Oprah getting out of the business like she was and start doing positive things. It gets, yeah, it gets draining. It could be draining. They would. Yeah, I heard the story, Bree. I heard it. It's a lot of things, you all. I mean, you just get tired. It gets to be tiring. So it is. It's time to create your own lane or leave. It's clearly draining you to an extent. Make the shit. Oh, Queen Toya, we gonna do that at some point in time. I mean, because I can do it all day. But again, a seat in Texas was flipped, showing that people are tired of this mess that's going on. Um, that's big news. But people are interested in that in the sector, and so I'm gonna figure it out. Right now, I'm at the brainstorming phase. Don't quite know what to do, but know that something needs to be done. Yeah, that's where I am. And you get tired of fighting with people who really need to just restructure and get their lives together. Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Lady Nika, it's crazy. So yeah, Bree is not a perfect person, but Bree can go get a job. Bree can get a security clearance, and he didn't like how Bree was treating people, and I get it. But then you gotta look, and I keep on telling you all that you can't stay in the ditch. You can't keep the person in the ditch unless you stay down there with them. The Lemon situation is tragic as well. You have a man in his, I guess, mid 30s, going into his 40s, and he's living with his mom. He doesn't have a job except YouTube. Now that's what he told me. And he thinks he's the king of the beef sector, which is no brag. I mean, and who are you the king of? Because you're not my king. So who are you the king of? And it just displays that people who don't have power outside of their lives on the beef sector, gain that power here, and it goes to their head. Now, Toya, we'll do what we need to do. Let me tell y'all something about me. I'm just, I'm just verbally letting some steam out right now. But oh, I will do what I need to do. I will do what I need to do. Yep. Who are you the king of? But my thing is, when people don't have power outside of the beef sector, they really hoard and protect it here. And I just think it's really interesting. And you hear him, and it's like, have you accomplished anything outside of the beef sector? If they had to run down your resume, how is that going to look? And this is what I ask all the content creators. Content creators, if they had to run down your resume, how would that resume look? How does your resume outside of the beef sector look? Because a lot of people don't have a lot of things going on outside of the beef sector, and you can see it. And I'm not dogging Lemon because he's the king of the beef sector, but that's how he really feels. I make the most money on here. Okay. Um, but you look at that and it's like, okay, but are you consistent? And and that's what I will give myself. I'm consistent. I've been on here for a good minute. Through the ups and the downs and all of that stuff, I've been here. But what do you have outside of this? If somebody were to flag my page and it was struck today, I'm not destitute. No one's perfect, Lady Nika, but at least you're proud of it. You know what I'm saying? You just think about that. Now, let me say this to the beef sector. It's okay to come over and indulge in the debauchery, but make sure you know what's going on in your world. Make sure you know what's going on in your community. Don't be to the point where you're so focused on beef sector that the world is passing you by. There's a lot of things going on in the news, and it deals with freedoms and rights and all of this stuff. You know, the Don Lemon thing, you know, everybody thought that was big, but that Don Lemon thing says a lot to me. It says a lot to me. It tells me that if Don Lemon, with the celebrity he has, can get arrested, then it'll be nothing for somebody to come and pick you up. I'm just saying. And some of you all are mature enough to know that this is a entertainment application, but some of y'all don't. When I was doing the show, and when I went to Atlanta, when I tell you, baby, if looks could kill, I would have been starved and bled to death. Because, baby, them people really, really had issues with me. And I'm like, are you serious? And they were very serious. See, it's easy for you all to say that everybody's adult. No, everybody is not adult. They may be adult in age, but they are not adult and emotional intelligence. And that's real. That is real. I'm just saying, Darcy. I wish, but you can't make people do what they look. This is my thing. Sometimes we think that people don't have what we need for them to give us. You know, I have learned that people can't give you what they don't have, and that's it. Y'all, I wouldn't be saying this unless I didn't have the experience. You know, Nika's been here. Nika's been here doing the doxing, and it's really funny how people try to destroy people. I'm not a real pastor, but they were so upset that I was working contract, of course, as a chaplain at a hospital that they felt they needed to call. I laughed at it because I got another gig, but what was really funny is it only just proved you wrong because you can't step in no hospital without correct credentials. At least that one. And I'm like, interesting. And it just goes to show you that people have a hatred because I guess they think they should be in certain places. No, I'll create a queen. I'm not getting invested. I'm telling it. I'm telling it today. I'm not invested. I'm not invested. I'm making a decision, but I want you to know that, you know, because somebody just said that these folks are this, and the third. But it's just really interesting. And what happens is, yeah, it's, you know, and my thing is, I just think it's really interesting. And you look at these people, and I'm like, well, I never lied about who I am. I don't have to. A camera could follow me, and I wouldn't be like, ooh, I'm ashamed, because again, I know what I do. I just think that it shows on these other folk parts. Like I said, somebody gave me some information about Timothy Blaine. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting that man's life in jeopardy. I'm not putting that man's church family in jeopardy. But I think it's really funny. And it just goes to show you where people are. I'm just saying today, and like I said, I'm not upset, but you just, I think it's a point of reflection of everything that people do. And it goes to show you where some black folk are, because I truly believe how they do on YouTube, they'll do in their real life. And that's the scary part about it. I think it's funny. You hear a lot. You just gotta listen. You gotta listen. It's a lot of stuff that goes on in the sector. You just really have to listen to it. And it's some crazy stuff. It's some crazy stuff. I have never known people to get upset about people having a home. I've never seen people so upset about people having a car or two. And I have never seen so many people who will fight against education. You know, again, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. I don't know about you all, but I take Black history extremely important. I'm glad I'm talking about this now because this February it's the beginning of Black history. I take Black history extremely, extremely serious. I look at how we were brought to this country. I look at how our ancestors, who some of them didn't even come from the same tribe, didn't speak the same language, how they thrived and how they survived in the midst of that trauma, in the midst of seeing people branded like animals, worked like dogs, starved, sexually assaulted. I look at that. I look at how my people were not allowed to read. Even white people could have been jailed for teaching them how to read because knowledge is power. How they were lied to, even when emancipation came, how some people were still enslaved. If that weren't enough that we went through the slavery, then we had to go through Jim Crow. They didn't think this skin color was good enough to go to their schools. And we'll tear down a black school in a heartbeat. Or we will tear down an HBCU. I've seen people do it, but not knowing that if it wasn't for the HBCUs, we would have never gotten into the middle class because those universities actually got us into where we needed to be, and they produced a whole lot of doctors, lawyers, professionals way before white people started letting us in their schools. And for people to dog out education, knowing what it meant to our people and what it means to our people, you got to be crazy. But again, it's the mindset. It's the mindset. Nobody don't think they're better than somebody because they got an education. See, when you think you're better than somebody, you think they don't deserve it. See, that's the whole thing. I think everybody deserves an education. I think everybody deserves to have a fair shake in life. I know what education can do. I know what education can do. I know what God can do, but I know what education can do as well. Now, I don't know who this Darbull is. I don't give a damn what you got to say right now because I said what I said. I'm not getting ready to argue because, again, my people come from real Georgia. It is about black and white. My people come from a place where black people can even own a nice car without being worried of getting strapped up and hanging from a tree. So I think you need to just go ahead and keep your mouth shut and maybe listen because you don't know and you can't speak for everybody. So I don't know who you are, but if you want to stay in here and not get blocked, you need to chill out with that. So we can learn from each other, all right. So, and I say that, you all, because I look at this and I look at some of the stuff we're doing, and it's really interesting. I I know, Creator Queen. I know, it is. We're not interested in that. You know, I'm sad, y'all. I'm gonna say this. I'm sad because we got a man. Well, then you don't speak for all of us. You don't speak for my folk in rural Southern Georgia. So just chill out and listen. Thank you. All right. So with your 100% African ass, sit and listen. But don't talk about something. It's a black and white. We can all learn. That's bullshit. Anyway, moving right along. When I tell you it grieves my spirit, when I hear a man who's 35 years old, I ask him, what do you have to offer? What are some attributes that you have? And the only thing he can tell me is, I give good throat. And I'm not judging him, but that hurt my heart because you think selling your ass, using your throat is the way to get by. And then will be angry with me and say, you think you better than other people. You think you do this because you got some education, and it has nothing to do with that. But somebody has told you that you are nothing more than an object to be used and sold. Somewhere you learned that. Somewhere somebody taught you that. And I don't blame you. But again, you got to unlearn that mess because you are more than a throat. You are more than this. But we will celebrate that. And, a lot of people say, ooh, y'all older gays need to be mentoring. Baby, you can't mentor these boys because they don't want to be mentored. They know everything. Like I said, I remember back in the day when gay black men, they were the ones who went to school. They had the fiercest clothes, homes, cars. Now, a lot of them want some white man to take care of them. When I was single, I used to go to Austin, and it just used to grieve my spirit that this extremely attractive black man would look at me and then on his arm is this nasty looking person that his own group wouldn't even date. But because this person has a little money, this is what they're with. Oh, I seen it. Black women, you ain't the only one who go through this. Oh, black women. Oh no, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. Looking for someone to take care of them. And see, this is why I laugh at you all talking about something. This is why I had to tell Tommy. I'm like, I don't want no Castro. Are you crazy? If I were single right now, I would not even give Castro an eye. Why am I going to take care of a man? That is crazy work. I travel. So how that hoe going to get around? I have a passport. This joker don't even have a driver's license. Nobody want that. Nobody don't want that. And it's a turn off to me. It's a turn off to me. And I'm like, you think you turning it? And the only thing you think people are so depraved that they just gonna get you for your sex and your sex gonna do it. No, absolutely not. That's a turn off. Tommy, you said I didn't. Let me tell you something, Tommy. When you were doing your job and when you was making stuff, I was happy. I'm like, yeah, Tommy. You start looking better. You start doing this, and then all of a sudden you reverted right back to that mess. And then I'm like, okay, you know, y'all can do what, and let me tell y'all, people do whatever they want to do. They know how to get them that free food. They know how to get the system to give them some money. So why don't you take all of that wherewithal and put it into yourself? And see, that's the sad part about it. Y'all don't even want to invest in yourself. And I'm gonna tell it today, y'all. I'm gonna tell it today, and people can say whatever they want to. You all don't want to invest in yourself. No, I'm telling it today. Boy, oh well, because I think we need to hear this as Black Americans, as gay Black Americans. I'm gonna tell it today. I'm gonna tell it today. Invest in yourself. You don't want no more than a room at your uncle's house. That's all you want. You satisfied with all of that gravy and them smothered meals? Is that all you want? Here you are almost hitting 40. And this is the sad part. It's not like you 20. You 40 out. I mean, you 35, 34, almost. Come on. I have known people with learning disabilities to get through. But you don't want no more than that. What do you really want in life? And it's funny because y'all can always brag on people's houses and ooh, they had this car and he's a nice man. And so what are you bringing to the table? You know, I mean, this is the thing. And if you're dealing with childhood trauma, then start dealing with it. Black people start dealing with this trauma. Go to a damn therapist. Now, people was laughing at Lolo, but I ain't mad, Lolo. Go to a therapist. Work through this stuff. You can't get to your light until you deal with your damn darkness. Don't you know that the government wants you on them food stamps? Because it's only thing that's gonna do is just hinder you and limit you to what you can get. And you are more than some food stamps. You are more than throat, ass, and penis. That's why I laugh at that stuff. A dick don't make you a man. Biologically it does, but that shit don't make you a man. Paying your bills, figuring out tough problems. And see, I'm not perfect. See, I want y'all to get that. I have not made all the right mistakes. The right decisions. I've not always done that. See, I don't come up here acting like, oh, I'm so pristine and perfect. And no. Like I said, I don't have a problem telling y'all that the first 4 years of my life was spent in a trailer because I want you all to see the progression. Yeah, my family moved into a modest, and I mean a modest house down the street from the trailer park. MB had a chance to see where that was. But what my mom and daddy told me is we want you to do better than us, and you're going to get your education. That's what my mom and dad told me. And my neighborhood told me that. And those people didn't have the education because they couldn't, because of their environment. But boy, they sure did push their kids to get it. Oh, they pushed their kids to get it. Sure did. And this is why I say education can make a difference. Don't you let nobody tell you that education don't make a difference. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. I did not live in a nice neighborhood. Okay, the pizza people didn't come to my neighborhood. Okay, they didn't deliver at my neighborhood. But I have friends who grew up in the project, that same trailer park, and man, what a difference education made in their lives, because I am a witness. I'm a witness. So you can't make the excuse because I'm poor. You can't make the excuse because I didn't, because there are many people who've gone through that. But you got to invest in yourself. And maybe somebody didn't tell you that. Maybe you dealt with people who didn't see it, but you got to break that cycle. You got to break that cycle. You have to break that cycle. That's why nobody can't tell me nothing. Oh, yeah, I know I came from a trailer park. Yes, Lord. Let me tell you something. Your mom and your daddy got you here. Some of these people were not perfect. Some of these people were downright kind of maniacal to some of you all. Okay, but what you going to do now? Because when they long gone and dead, you can't keep on saying, well, my mom or my... What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Everybody had issues. Let me tell y'all something. When I lost my damn six-figure job because of layoffs, it was the most challenging time. Because, again, when you have terminal degrees, when you have work experience, it's harder for you to get a job as it progresses, because people think, A, you want to come for their job, B, you're going to ask for more money than they want to give you, and C, you're only using this job as a placemat to move on to another job. That's what they think. Baby, I had people telling me, why you driving Uber and doing Airbnb? Ain't you ashamed you got them masters and them degrees and all of that? And I'm like, what would be embarrassing if I had all of these degrees and my lights were cut off? Oh, so y'all got to watch people too, because people try to play them degree games on you. Let me tell you something. That's why I'm glad that I knew what work was early in my life. My mama said, if you wanted extra school clothes, you better go work for it. I got with my neighbor who was a landscaper, and I was cutting that grass. That's why I don't cut my grass now. But you wouldn't believe what people said. And it was a challenging time. But I got my ass right up in this stinking Lincoln. In this stinking Lincoln. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, I knew the airport crowd was coming. And I knew that I needed to be finished by 2 o'clock so I can greet those Airbnb customers. And at the end of the day, not one time did you see my lights cut off. Not one time. Because I had to do what I had to do. Do you hear me? Even when you got it made, that don't mean that junk can happen to you. Because anything can happen to you. You never know what's going to happen. But you got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in yourself. You better know who you are and whose you are. Because I have learned in this beef sector, people try to tear you down because they don't know who they are. And you get wrapped up in this mess, and you'll be thinking like they're thinking, I can't do that. I know who I am. And this is my thing. Baby, if it ain't criminal, it is what it is. And I'm just being real. And I know a lot of people don't like this, but I don't give a damn. And I guess that's the problem that I have with the sector as a whole. Because we tear down excellence, but we uphold mediocrity and buffoonery. It is what it is. But it's Black History Month. And all I'm going to say is I am molding. Because I look at what we deal with in the beef sector. I look at what we deal with. And look at most of the content creator and what the hell they doing. Look at what the content creators are doing and what we deem acceptable. When Misunderstood made a point to go to school, what did the sector do? Not all of them, but a lot of the people in the sector, they called her school. They called her school. Now this woman's trying to better herself, and y'all trying to take that away. What's wrong with you all? It goes to show you that something is wrong within you. You ain't never heard me discourage somebody who's trying to do better. Never. I did not watch Dragons last night. I'm just saying, you all. I'm just saying. Now, one reason why I am staying on, I don't know how long, but let me say this. I have been on the cruise, and a lot of people have written me to say, Jay, I don't want anybody to know who I am. I'm remaining anonymous. Now, I know who these people are, but you really helped me make a decision to go back to school and improve my life. Or you have done XYZ, XYZ. And you don't know how you are influencing people by what you say and what you do. Now, I'm going to say this. Black people, all people, but especially Black people, invest in yourself. It's okay to buy clothes. It's okay to buy items. But make sure you are putting something here. Make sure you're getting your skill set so if something happens to you in this AI-driven society that you'll be okay. Invest in yourself. If you're going to buy clothes, don't buy trendy stuff. It's okay. Buy what you want. But make sure you buy stuff that's going to can be worn for the duration of time. Invest in yourself. Go get your mental health. I'm not going to lie about that. Because, see, as Black people, people told us, you crazy. You don't need, all you need to do is give it to Jesus. Give it to Jesus. No. Jesus had that's why we have the discipline of psychology and all of those things, because you need to go and talk to somebody. And see, this is why I think you all mess up. You all spilling all this precious stuff on YouTube. Intimate things that you should be sharing with a therapist. You're sharing with people who don't give a damn about you, who are not bound by HIPAA, who are not bound by anything. And then they come and use it against you and you get pissed off. But they're not bound by law. And I don't know what you expect to get. And that tells me right there you don't have no friends or nobody to talk to. And I'm going to tell you, get some friends. Get a therapist. You don't come up here telling people all your business. I'm just being real. You got to do better. A lot of y'all could be doing Sailor.org. Only thing you could do is pay $5 and you can take some college courses. All you do is pay $5. Can't you invest $5 in yourself? But you got to figure out what's important to you. And again, people can't give you what they don't have. But I'm telling you, you cannot get the home and all of that stuff by wishing it. You got to put some work into it. And anything worth having is worth working for. I'm being real. It just grieves my spirit. Can I say this too? You can say whatever you want about Chocolate Bay. Oh, I'm going there today. But a lot of people, I notice this a lot in this sector. They don't like Chocolate Bay. He think he better than everybody else, and da 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 da. And again, here come Rico. But I slept with his friend who was a doctor. But okay, so you may have slept with his friend with a doctor, but is that criminal? And it just goes to show you how little you think about yourself. Because those men are still doing everything they need to do. And what you really felt bad about is because you were used. You were used. But you just want to show, oh, these people are depraved and they'll do anything to get some booty. Well, that may be true. It's called Salar.org. But my thing is, it just says a lot about you again. And all I say is do better. Because you can say whatever you want about Chocolate Bay. How you feel about him ain't stopping him from doing what he had to do. I have realized that with Chocolate Bay, let me even go to Wolverine. When black men, especially gay men, do well, baby, y'all just think y'all something. Y'all arrogant. Y'all, what do they say? Y'all narcissistic. No, no. And it really, really bothers some people because, again, against all odds, these people do well. I notice that people can't stand Sassy. Now, I don't know if Sassy is this or this, but Sassy carries herself in a way that Sassy got this, and the third. Oh, she smokes, though. She smokes. Okay. But that's something that you can pick because you really don't like what she projects. That's all I'm saying. See, Rico is an easy person, Castro and them, because again, they don't make y'all feel some kind of way. But I noticed that people who got some stuff going for themselves, y'all do. I look at Ghetto Intellect. You know, all I'm gonna say is the man got what he got. And see, can I say something? When you know what it takes to get that education, when you know what it takes to do what you need to do, look at this pretty dog. Come here. Come here. Hey, hey. Okay. That was a pretty dog, y'all. When you know what it takes, you don't get jealous with people. Now, I will mess with, what's his name? Binerdy about his Grand Canyon University, but he went. It's regionally accredited. And Binerdy wouldn't got his job if he didn't have it. I'm never going to beat people up because of their education. That's stupid. That's crazy. And see, when you've invested in yourself, you don't get mad when people invest in themselves. Because Binerdy going to that school says that Binerdy knew what it took and Binerdy invested in himself. See, you're not going to get me to be mad at Bree because Bree got her education. Because see, even though she's getting it now, she said, I need to invest in me and put in the work. And whether you like the people or not, they put in the work. You can't take that away from them. You got them fraudulent degrees. No, it ain't nothing fraudulent about it. I put in the work. I put in the work. Bonner put in the work. Bree is putting in the work. Folk are putting in the work. And no one should apologize about putting in the work. And no one should ever apologize for being successful. No one should ever apologize. Let me tell y'all something. When I tell you Wolverine got what Wolverine has, it is what it is. I was proud of Wolverine. I know where Wolverine came from. I know what city Wolverine came from. And most people who get out of that situation either do it by football or basketball. Football or basketball. So for Wolverine to come out of the city like that and not play sports and get into where he is now, I'm proud of that brother. And when he drove up in that car, I'm like, bitch, work that. I ain't mad at it. Not a bit of jealousy. I was proud because I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because that brother had to invest in himself. I knew where he came from. And when you have come from a place of lack, when you come from a place of scarcity, but you can come out with abundance and overflow. See, I like those stories of I didn't have nothing, but this is what I got now. Because you got to invest in yourself. Now, I know America is crazy, but I'm telling you, in America, even with racism and classism, you can still have a good life. Let me tell y'all something. Don't you know that if you don't even have a college degree, see, I'm going somewhere with this now. You don't even have to have a college degree. But if you can pass a piss test and you don't have no record, baby, the sky is the limit for you. The sad part about it is when you decide to move up into management, that's when the degrees start taking place. That's when people say, do you have a college education? I want y'all to know, I'm not hating on the Castros of the world. I'm telling the Castros of the world, invest in yourself. I'm telling the Castros of the world, if you got some foundational issues, then go to a therapist so you can get unstuck. It is the beginning of 2026. We are in the month of Black History. What is your history? Let me give y'all cause see, I want y'all to know that everybody ain't perfect. Let me tell y'all something. Martin Luther King, Dr. King, was not perfect. Dr. King was an alleged womanizer. Dr. King smoked. He was a smoker. Yes, he was. But that does not take away that he was brilliant. It does not take away that man had his stuff together. See, somebody tried to tarnish his reputation with that. Still didn't take away. Still didn't take away. And the sad part about it is when he started talking about economic equality, that's when they snuffed him out. See, people don't care about this diversity and all of this stuff, but that economic equality, that money, take you out every time. Oh yeah, we can be kumbaya, and but let me tell you something. When they start money, but let me say this. What I'm trying to say is he wasn't perfect, and I wasn't looking for perfection. But what he did was big. And if you listen to his 1967 speech about how he was naive about the "I Have a Dream" speech, it will change your life. It will change your life. Because that man said, it's about economics. Notice, nobody was bothering Malcolm until he started talking about getting together and going against the powers that be. So I'm trying to tell you all that even the most noble, even the most revered are not perfect. Do you know they got dirt on Mother Teresa? Mother damn Teresa. She wasn't perfect. at all. And see, I don't understand why we look for perfect human beings, because the mere fact that we're on this earth means that we're not perfect. And so again, when people talk about you trying to act like you perfect, no, I'm not. I am not. I am not. Definitely not. But what are we gonna do? It's 2026. We are going into the second month, Black History. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What's stopping you from doing what you want to do? Because if you really want it, you'll get it. It's amazing, you all. I didn't go to school, college in Florida. I don't think I have one degree from a school in Florida. I don't. And if you know, out of state tuition is a beast. Now, I got residency, but out of state. Know your destiny, because people will try to dictate your destiny. Let me tell you something. I love my parents, but they were going to tell me where I was going to go to school, and I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I guess that's my nature. No, 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 no. Because when you know your destiny, nobody, nobody can tell you what you got to do. When you know your destiny. My siblings stayed right in Florida. They all, or for the most part, worked at the Kennedy Space Center, which is almost like what GM is to Detroit, what Ford is to Detroit. That Space Center is the same way to where I'm from. I didn't see that in the cards. I was supposed to go to Florida A&M or Bethune-Cookman College. I went to a school in Florida. It was my destiny. It wasn't my destiny. I don't know why. I looked at Hampton and I looked at Norfolk State University. I knew I was going to Norfolk State University. In my mind, I was going to get into Hampton because it's Hampton. It's a historical black college. It was the more known school. It was the more popular school. They had a low acceptance rate, meaning that the school, so. But something in the back of my mind said, I'm going to this little known HBCU. And how things work out, y'all. Things work out for reasons. I went to Hampton University, stepped on that campus. I know it's a historic campus, but baby, some of that campus looked like Booker T. Washington was going to walk out one of them buildings. I could not understand how Hampton was getting all of this money, but the physical plant during the time I went looked horrible. When I tell you they took me to James and Harkless Hall, where the freshmen live, and they ain't had no air conditioning, and I'm from Florida, I'm like, oh, the devil is a lie. And what came to mind was, why am I going to pay this much money to be hot? Why am I paying this much money to be hot? They say, oh, I went to Hampton University, they ain't had no air conditioning. I'm like, I ain't going here. I wound up going to Norfolk State University. And baby, when I tell you that school looked like a park, when I tell you the infrastructure was there, the grounds were kept, it was clean. And this is what made the difference. And this is why I know that God works in divine will. Even when people don't understand, when you know your destiny, God will give you, God will give you indications that the decisions you made when it's right, it was right. Norfolk State was the only college at that time that offered a bachelor's in music emphasis in media, which is a mass comm and a music degree combined. I wanted to do journalism and I wanted to be able to say that school had it. And that's exactly where I went. Was it easy? Hell no. Did we get through it? Hell yeah. Let me tell you something. If you can finish an undergrad degree, oh, a master's degree would be a cakewalk. Oh, it's a cakewalk because you got to take everybody's classes, your foundational stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But let me tell you what Norfolk State did. It made me grow up really quickly. It made me understand that you can make it. I'm not afraid to go places that I don't know about. I didn't know a damn thing about San Antonio or Houston because Houston is where I wanted to go. I went right on because I said, I'll make friends. I'll make friends. All I'm telling you all is if you got a vision, walk in it. Hold on, y'all. All right, you all. I'm so sorry. That was my youngest sister gave me a call and she was just checking to see if I was okay. Thank God for family. So I had a little chit chat with her and she's doing all right. She was telling me they're getting snow and ice in Georgia. So if you're in Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Ohio, Philadelphia, New York, all in the Northeast, in the Mid Atlantic. Y'all be careful because I heard y'all are getting some really, really bad weather. So be careful. Well, look, you all. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not trying to put anybody down. That's not my intention. All I'm saying is invest in yourself. That's all I'm saying. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. If you don't get nothing else out of this, invest in yourself. And life is short, people. You know what I'm saying? Life is short, and do all you can while you can. Do all you can while you can, and turn those tragedies into triumphs. Let me tell you something. As long as you living, even when it's good, something's gonna happen, and you can either be proactive or reactive. And I know a lot of people want to say, "Well, Jay, because people," but look, at some point in your life, you got to do something. And maybe nobody has told people this. Maybe nobody has told people that they can do it. Now Brian is here. Brian has made a concerted effort to invest in himself. Do I agree with everything Brian do? Hell no. Have me and Brian been good all this season? Hell no. But let me tell you something. If you don't think I'm proud of Brian because he's getting ready to embark on some education to better himself, you are wrong. You are wrong. See, I don't hate on that. If Brian gets that degree and gets a job that pays him six figures, it ain't no hate here because that brother has done what he needed to do to get to where he needs to go. It ain't no hate in that. And I'm sorry, I'm not jealous of stuff like that. I like my black people doing well. I like seeing black people advance and then helping others and reaching back. See, what bothers me is black people who don't want to reach back. See, that bothers me. Like you did it on your own. No, 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 no. You had some aunties and some mamas and stuff. So again, but when you can reach back, that's beautiful. So my thing is okay, turn pain into power. I like a good turnaround story. I like a good turnaround story. How you doing? So anyway, that's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to make nobody feel bad. I don't think I'm better than nobody. I sure don't. I don't. But my thing is, we can speak all of this and talk about people and what they ain't doing and da da da. But let's encourage people to do better. Rico, you are more than just a throat. Okay, that hurt my spirit. Now we laughed about it, but in actuality, he answered real. That was his real answer. You are more than throat. Y'all are more than body parts. But y'all have reduced yourself down to body parts. And the thing is, you won't ever hear nobody say the man talked to me because I was smart and intellectual. It's all because of you got good throat or you offered some trim. You offered the man some trim and you think that's turning it. And I'm just like, damn. Just do better, babies. That's all I'm saying. Especially as black people, I'm concerned about all humankind, but especially black people. Come on now, the ancestors done went through all of this. All of the people riding on the bus. I mean, boycotting the bus, and people getting harassed and beat up at lunch counters, so we can have these freedoms. Fannie Lou Hamer getting hit in the head. All of those people on Selma. Every time I look at them clips and it's gonna come on, I get mad all over again. Watching them black people getting water hosed down the street. Them dogs biting them black folk. I don't take that lightly. Those people were not just doing that for themselves. Those people were doing that for me. Because they knew that this person was going to come up and he wanted to go where he wanted to go to school. And the least I could do is to get an education and be productive in society. Truly, my home is not only for me, but it's for the ancestors. How many black people couldn't live in the neighborhood that they wanted to live at that time? Even stars, even people who were famous. Why do you think Baldwin Hills and Ladera Heights and Altadena and Pasadena are filled with black people? Because that's where they could live. Before Bel Air and these places started allowing black people to live there. Come on now. I'm just being real. We don't think about these things because when you don't have no struggle, you think everything come easy. This is why I'm really concerned about AI. Because let me tell y'all something. When I was teaching, these students were using AI. And even though AI is a good tool, if you don't know the fundamentals of writing, it will mess you up. I'm just being real. I really want y'all to think about this stuff. It's real. And then let's look at the politics of today. People want to talk about it ain't no racism no more. Y'all don't see what this administration is doing? You all don't see the rhetoric that's out there? You don't see what's going on? Y'all, I'm just saying, I'm very passionate about this. And again, everybody is different, but I have people in my family who are living now, who's living during the time of colored and white water fountains. My family have personal tragedy of a successful person in the family who had the first Cadillac in that county in Georgia. And they thought that black man, for lack of a better word, think he was better than the white folk because he got that car. And they lynched him because of his success. Because they could not understand how a black man could be driving a nice car like that. And to this day, thank God for the legacy. We have land in my family in rural Georgia. There is a church that this ancestor built that is thriving. And I'm proud of that. These are rural, practical people who ain't have nothing, but had enough sense to put their money together, buy the land, own the land, and the land is still in the family. Not only on my mama's side, but also on my dad's side. And they have stories to tell. Some of my family had to leave Georgia because, unfortunately, some person of another hue was threatening them and they wound up taking them out. And part of the family had to move. Oh, come on now. You all, let me tell you something. This family tapestry, when you really get into it, I'm proud of my family. There are some stories that will downright make you faint. There are some things that I'm like, are you serious? But let me say this, I'm here. I am here. I am here. My roots, I may have been born in Florida, but my roots are rural central Georgia. 341 from Perry, Georgia to Brunswick, Georgia. 341 down. 341 down. From Perry to Hawkinsville, from McRae, from Eastman to Hazelhurst, Jessup, all the way to Brunswick. That's me. That's family. The home of the timber, Lumber City. That's me. Hard-working people. And I'm saying this for a reason because, like I said, we can make many excuses. I think about Dr. Bethune. This woman started with $7 and was teaching girls on the beach. And now we have Bethune Cookman College. And this is the thing. These people grew up in segregated society. They had black schools, but yet they did some extraordinary work. If it wasn't for a black woman, we wouldn't have Voorhees College. Coppin State wouldn't even be in existence. I'm just saying, y'all. Hey, Hershey. Hershey, let me say this. Hershey, I don't even know if I'm interested. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, Hershey. Because can I say this, Hershey? I'm so not interested in what she got going on. I'm so not interested in a lot of stuff that's going on. And I just don't know how long. I just don't know how long I'm going to be in existence here. I just don't know. I know I'm going to be here, but I don't know how long. And you know what? I don't even want to look at her tragedy. It's just a lot going on. And my thing is, what do these people have going on outside of the beef sector? Now, I'll come on when it's convenient. If I'm driving somewhere and I'll be watching CNN, I'll say, well, let me come on and do. Yo, I'm be honest. I'm like, I guess I'm going to just weed my own self out because some of these storylines and stories are just not imaginative, not creative, not funny anymore, downright depressing. And it's like, and eventually I'm going to do something. I do. I am at the point of indecision right now. That's where I am. And I'm good with that. I'm good with being at the point of indecision right now because we all get into a situation of, okay, what should I do next? What should I do next? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know who upset with Brian. I don't. I know. Damon Wilson, who played Lamont on Sanford and Son, has passed. He was 79 years old. Yeah. Well, Hershey, why should he relax while people got a flag team? See, this is what I'm saying. You said Brian should relax. Well, why should he relax when people have flag teams? I'm not a Brian. Well, I'm not. I don't agree with the flagging, but again, why tell him to stop when people continually do it? Well, I guess Lemon need new talent. I don't know Hershey. I haven't been looking, and I'm gonna say this, Hershey. This has been about uplift and doing better. It's Black History Month. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. That's what I'm about. I'm about. It's Black history. It's Black history. And maybe that's what God said. It's Black history. It's Black history. It's Black history. It's the first day of Black history. Shout out to Carter G. Woodson for Black history. It's Black history. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with us, with us he be, yet of our weary feet, come to the place which our forefathers sighed. We have come over the tears of the afflicted up and watered. We have come treading the blood through the blood of the path of the slaughter. Anyway, I know them words. Anyway, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in thy path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places of God where we met thee. Lest our heart, drunk from the wine of the world, we forget thee. Come on. Anyway. True to our God, true to our native land. Anyway, yeah. Black history, Black history, Black history, Black history. And we have a rich tapestry. We have a rich history. It started before they brought us here. It started. We don't forget Timbuktu. We don't forget Mansa Musa. We do not forget Alexandria. We don't forget, you know, Augusta, Saint Augustine of Hippo, who was a scholar, who's black. We don't forget that because that happened way before we were enslaved people. Way before we were enslaved people. And when we were enslaved, we still made history. Shout out to Phyllis Wheatley, Benjamin Banneker, Charles Drew, law, entertainment, science. We've done it. Even as a oppressed people. Even as an oppressed people. You know, Hershey, you don't read the room, girl. You don't read the room. It's Black history, niece. It's Black history, niece. You don't read the room well. You don't read the room well, Hershey. I'm ignoring you for a reason because right now that's not what we're dealing with. See what I'm saying? It's Black History. It's Black History. Black History is important. This is an important month. Yeah. Very, very, very important month. Well, look, you all, though, I'm getting ready to head on out. Um, you know, just keep your eyes and ears open. Know your past so you don't repeat the future. You'll repeat it in the future. Know that anything worth having is worth fighting for. Know that nothing comes easy. If it's too easy, it ain't worth having. Nobody gives you anything. They expect payment at the end, regardless. It's gonna be interesting, you all. Well, look, I'm getting ready to go. And like I said, y'all, I'm not leaving. I'm just really mulling over the next moves. I'm really mulling over, okay, what's going on? Do I have another channel, which I think I'm gonna make and do that? Maybe let this one fade out and really build on the other one. I really don't know, but we gonna do something different. Yeah, and it's not. And let me say this: one thing I'm not doing is beating up the beef sector. The beef sector is what it is. Um, the beef sector has supported me. The rider lives. I ain't mad at it. And what I don't do is say how demonic it is and everything. Yeah, but I see the blind spots. I see the shortcomings. I see the root cause. I see a lot of people looking for acceptance and love and validation on these YouTube streets. I see that. I see that. I see a lot of things. We love mediocrity, but we really disdain and have an issue with success. We really do. We really do. And let me say this to Tommy. Tommy, Tommy, you can have all of those things. You always talk about, Jay Wilson, I like you because of you do this and this. But Tommy, you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing, Tommy. It's never too late. It's never too late. And Tommy, all you got to do is believe in Tommy. And Tommy, just be honest with yourself. What are your limitations and what are your strengths? And work on that. Thank you, Felicia. But work on that, Tommy. And Castro as well. You talking about you always putting them men down. No, I'm telling the men, invest in yourself. Get out of that self-fulfilled prophecy. Stop talking to yourself and telling if you keep on telling yourself you nothing, then that's what you're gonna get. And maybe somebody has told you that so long and so often that you believe it. Tommy, you can have what you want, but guess what? When you get it, you're gonna have to make some decisions. Nothing. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Do what you need to do. I'm gonna say this. I can move anywhere in this country and get a job. Baby, I can move to Little Rock tomorrow. Let me tell you something. If I were to move to Little Rock tomorrow, just hypothetically, you hear me just trying to figure it out. I can move to Little Rock tomorrow. First of all, I would have enough to get a nice apartment without a job. Without a job. Now, let me not say without a job because I do have jobs online. I teach online. See what I'm saying? So even if I were to leave the career that I have now, I still have a job that would sustain me. But if I were to move to Little Rock, I know I would get a job at ABC. ABC would hire me. I know I would. You know why? I could go to ABC, Philander Smith, or Shorter College and get a job because there's not too many people with PhDs or terminal degrees in those areas. That would be a stepping stone to get a job somewhere else. And let me tell y'all something, baby. People like that DR period in front of your name, and it wasn't really for me to do that. My thing is I like research, so that's the highest degree you can get when it comes to research. But we know we know that people get caught up in that. Some places it would be easier for me than other places. I want y'all to catch this. Now I'm saying something to y'all this morning. Atlanta, Georgia, that is very competitive. Cause baby, that's where all the professionals go. Places like LA be tough. But when you get to rural areas like a Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Detroit, Little Rock, Arkansas, when you go to places like that, you can pick your job. You can go in and just pick your job because there's not too many black people with terminal degrees and that experience. Not because we think we better than somebody, but that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. Atlanta is extremely competitive. Huntsville, Alabama, extremely competitive because it's a technology hub. Nashville, Tennessee is on that list because you got Tennessee State, you got people there. But I'm just saying, and it's no brag. Buy nerdy, buy nerdy could go to these places and baby, it's a couple of people who love, and it's not. And see what I'm trying to say, it's not because of me, because I'm not the only one. There is such a lack of academic talent in these places, and especially with black people. And when you get a black person without a criminal record who could pass a drug test, you don't even have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. You can just be in the drawer and get hired. Oh, somebody better hear me. Somebody better hear me this morning. education gives you more options. You don't need an education to get a job. You don't. But certain jobs you cannot get without it. And you have more options open to you. And nobody can deny you. Because again, I have a lot of people who got jobs, but when they wanted to advance in that career, you know what they said? Well, you don't have a bachelor's degree. Let me tell y'all something. I advocate for education. I don't care what nobody say. Education is important. And as black people, we shouldn't be telling folks not to get it. Even if you do vocational and technical education, you still need to know how to read and write. And education, you can either go to the Booker T. Washington School, meaning that vocational education and what you can do for the people, or you can go to the W.E.B. Du Bois. I prefer the W.E.B. Du Bois, but I ain't against Booker T. Washington. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, read why Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois didn't agree on certain things. But you don't want to ever have somebody say that you ain't qualified or you don't meet the criteria. Because any way they can keep you from advancing, they will. Let me say this, y'all. At the bus company that I work for, there was a black man. And I'm going to log off after this because I got to go somewhere. But there was a black man, y'all. This man was the second in command. And he worked, and I think he may still be there, but he worked for VIA, which is the San Antonio's transportation department. And let me tell you something, baby, you can make it in San Antonio. If you're a black man without a record and you can pass the drug test, baby, you can make it in San Antonio. I don't understand why people ain't making it in San Antonio because it's easy. It's easy. And that's one reason why I came here, because it was easy. But that man rose up. He started off as a van driver for the people who had disabilities. He moved all the way up to vice president of operations. No college degree. No college degree, which is a feat in itself because he was very exceptional. Well, the CEO was retiring. And baby, he thought he was going to walk into that position. What y'all think happened? He thought he was going to walk into that position. What y'all think happened? Can somebody tell me what happened? Can somebody tell me what had happened? Now, he is the COO. He has proven that he knows what he's doing. Right? What y'all think happened? Baby, he didn't get that position. Baby, they brought somebody all the way from the Northeast. Don't know nothing about San Antonio. Don't know one thing about San Antonio. And they overlooked him. Child. Can I tell y'all this? Now, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Now, I want y'all to catch this. This man knew every aspect of that company. He knew every aspect of the company, even the mechanical side, budget, maintenance. He knew this thing inside out. He had tenure. He had all of that information. Because he didn't have that degree, baby, they got somebody who knew nothing about this and brought them in. Now, let me say this. Did that man have an education? He sure did. You know what his education was? On the job training. On the job training. And the people loved him. You know why they liked him? Because they felt that he was one of them. They felt that he was one of them. But in spite of the people liking him, because he had worked with these people, and he was a practical man. He didn't forget where he came from. But that was not enough for him to take that top position. Had that man had that bachelor's degree, he probably would have had that job. Y'all, I was impressed. I was impressed. Here is a black man who rose up the ranks. He was exceptional. But that was not enough for them to hire him as a CEO at Via Metropolitan. See, he was the exception. And is he successful? You damn right he's successful. But what he really wanted, it eluded him. And you know what they gonna do? Whoever the new CEO is, baby, they gonna use him for all the information they can get. They ain't get rid of him. They're not gonna get rid of him because he knows everything. But once they got what they need, he could be very well discarded. Y'all better hear me. Y'all better hear me when I say you don't need no college degree to get a job. I ain't never said that. And if you're exceptional, you may be able to move up. But I'm giving you that story because that man had tenure. That man had everything. To be honest, he was more qualified than the person they got. But he ain't had that degree. And he was a dark-skinned black man. I say dark-skinned black man because if you don't think colorism don't have nothing to do with this either, Every person who has been seriously considered for president in the United States has been light-skinned. Colin Powell was light-skinned. Barack Obama was light-skinned. Herman Cain didn't have a chance in hell to be the president, whether he was Democrat or Republican. You know what? Because we scared of dark men. Oh, we scared of dark men. And look how we treat dark women. Jasmine Crockett is the bee's knees. You can't tell me Jasmine Crockett is a lawyer. That girl is bad. But we'll talk about it like a dog. We sure will. That's a whole nother story right there. And that's not because we did it. It's because somebody drew up that construct for us. And that's what we got. Okay. Y'all let me go. Let me go. Let me tell y'all something. Get your education. Don't let these people talk you out of something that you know is important. Our ancestors knew. Our ancestors knew. The ancestors knew. Learn from your past so you can be successful in your future. Ancestors knew that it was important to know how to read and write. They fought to learn how to read. Anyway, y'all have a good one. I'm good. I'm blessed of the Lord and highly favored because the Lord said, since I done blessed you and favored you, now go ahead and do something with your talents. Don't bury your talents in the ground. Invest in you. Invest in you. Invest in you. So what your mama said that you was dumb? She was probably dealing with her own trauma. Invest in you. Okay, so the teacher say you can learn. Prove them wrong. Invest in you. If you got to get your mind right, go get a good therapist and work through these problems so you can get your breakthrough and you can break out. I know a lot of y'all don't like what I'm saying, but it is true. It's true. I'm a ride and live with you, but like hell, am I sit here and ride and die and thinking that mediocrity is good. Anyway, y'all, let me move on. Y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. I'll talk to y'all later on. Bye.